Welcome to today's Explainer. Look, if you've been paying any attention to the corporate world lately, you already know the AI honeymoon phase. Yeah, it's officially over. We are totally done with the cool parlor tricks and the random, messy departmental experiments. As we look ahead to 2026, all that endless AI tinkering is being replaced with hard math, strict discipline, and a literally relentless focus on bottom-line profit. Today, we're going to see exactly how businesses are completely rewiring their operations to go from absolute chaos to total control.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the end of AI chaos, introduce this new AI studio paradigm, and then unpack the actual nuts and bolts of centralization. After that, we'll explore the domino effect this creates, and finally, wrap up with what your new everyday reality is going to look like in the workplace. All right, part 1, the end of AI chaos. Say goodbye to the Wild West.
Think about yesterday's workplace. It was pretty much defined by bottom-up chaos, right? Different departments were just buying completely incompatible AI tools that frankly didn't even talk to each other. People were absolutely mesmerized by flashy demos, but let's be honest, they weren't actually moving the needle on revenue. Well, the 2026 approach is a complete 180. It's entirely top-down, focused laser-like on centralized hubs, hard data, and clear return on investment. The experimental phase? It's done.
Moving on to Section 2. Enter the AI Studio, the paradigm shift. So the ultimate answer to all this fragmentation is what we call the top-down AI Studio model. This is a highly centralized leadership approach. Instead of giving every single department a little budget to play around with random AI tools, senior executives are stepping in and taking the wheel. They're funneling top-tier talent and serious financial resources into just 3 to 5 high-value business processes, all managed through a central hub, the AI Studio. So those days of isolated, rogue AI experiments happening in the corner of marketing or HR? Completely over.
You might be wondering, how do we actually measure success in this new studio model? It all comes down to Agentic ROI benchmarks. Businesses honestly do not care anymore if a simple chatbot works. They demand exact, hard profit metrics. We're talking about specific, math-based measurements that prove the financial value of autonomous AI agents. We're not talking about basic virtual assistants here. We're talking about systems that can manage entire business functions, like, say, auditing a massive supply chain without a human holding its hand. These benchmarks track exactly how much time and money those agents are saving.
Section 3. The mechanics of centralization. Under the hood.
Now, a massive operational shift like this doesn't just happen magically overnight. It follows a very precise, 5-step playbook. It kicks off with an inventory audit where leadership essentially audits all those current bottom-up experiments to see what is actually working. Next is the big bets phase, where they pick just 3 to 5 core business areas to totally transform. Then comes mobilization, which means pulling your absolute A-player talent right into the central hub. That's followed by benchmarking to measure the exact cost and speed of doing things the old manual way. Finally, the studio launches a pilot. And here's the kicker. If it hits those math-based benchmarks, it pivots and scales company-wide. The engine driving this entire process is known as the hub-and-spoke framework. The hub itself is the central AI studio, usually led by a chief AI officer, and they provide the shared models, district security, and the core infrastructure. From there, executives select the high-impact workflows, and the studio tackles the agentic build. And this is where it gets super fascinating. They build specialized AI agents designed to literally reason through complex problems and autonomously call on other software tools to actually finish tasks. If an agent somehow misses its ROI targets, well, continuous benchmarking ensures the studio catches the bottleneck and fixes the code immediately. For this whole framework to run effectively, several absolutely crucial puzzle pieces have to lock into place. First off, executive sponsorship has to be tied directly to compensation. Yep, you heard that right. CEO paychecks are literally being linked to the success of the AI studio now. You also need heavily cross-functional teams, bringing together your software engineers with the subject matter experts who deeply understand the process being automated. On top of that, you need specialized agentic infrastructure. Think massive, heavy-duty hardware like NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs and a unified data fabric, which just ensures every single AI agent is looking at the exact same 100% accurate company information.
Section 4. The AI domino effect, proving the value. Think of this next part like a giant chain reaction. Centralization leads to governance, because everything is now happening safely inside the monitored walls of the AI studio. The company can finally ensure all AI usage is completely secure and strictly follows legal regulations. And as that first domino falls, it immediately hits the next. Governance leads to trust. Because the AI is so heavily monitored, secure, and regulated, both employees and customers begin to inherently trust its reliability. Which brings us to the real inflection point. Trust leads to adoption. Once people truly trust these autonomous agents, they stop just kind of trying out the tool out of curiosity. They start actually relying on it to get their daily work done. And bam, the final, most important domino falls. Adoption leads to ROI. Widespread, high usage of these super efficient agents drastically lowers operational costs and drives massive revenue. And that, right there, is the ultimate goal of this entire 2026 pivot.
Finally, Section 5, your new everyday reality, the reality check.
So, what does this actually mean for your daily to-do list? Honestly, the reality of your role is about to completely flip. You know that quick little class you took on prompt writing? Yeah, you'll soon be required to have mandatory AI literacy just to oversee these agents. Those manual data entry tasks you used to do? Gone. Replaced by strategic oversight. Even your performance reviews are going to look different. Standard KPIs are out, and they are being replaced by agentic throughput metrics, which means your personal success is now judged by how many tasks the AI agents you manage successfully complete. Oh, and tinkering with AI off the grid in your free time? That's finished. All innovation has to go through the studio now.
But look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This transition has some very real risks. Centralization naturally creates an innovation bottleneck, which can definitely slow down brilliant smaller ideas, because literally everything requires studio approval now. Plus, there are huge upfront costs for computing power, and let's face it, messy AI hallucinations still desperately need human oversight to catch mistakes. And we absolutely cannot forget the organizational resistance. Expect a fair bit of panic from middle managers who suddenly realize their secret shadow IT budgets have been completely revoked and swallowed up by the central hub. Change is just never smooth, is it? Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder today. As companies funnel massive resources into these powerful top-down AI studios, the very nature of work is fundamentally changing. The era of the autonomous agent isn't just coming, it's here. So the big question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to step up and manage an autonomous AI agent, or are you going to become the innovation bottleneck in your own organization? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.